The law of unintended consequences is the only real law of history. Niall Ferguson. Hello everyone. Before we get started, I just wanted to let everyone know that Phil from the Dollhouse has agreed to sponsor my channel. This is my first video in a new series about sex dolls. While the videos in this series are sponsored, please understand that even if I wasn't sponsored, I fully endorse the content, and by the end of this video, you may find yourself liking my positions as well. No pun intended. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. One of the most prolific witch hunts in recent history was the college Title IX epidemic of false rape and DV claims across the United States. College men were wrongfully targeted by the droves. Even men whose alleged victims admitted their sex was consensual were falsely painted as sexual abusers. While this has been all over the news in the last year, much of the reporting on it has died down since Betsy DeVos retracted the Dear Colleague letter. However, it's still happening. The Dartmouth News report from January 18, 2018, Expelled Student Sues College for Reinstatement reports, quote, according to a copy of the filing obtained by the Dartmouth, the student, referred to as John Doe, claims he was subjected to an unfair disciplinary process after a female Dartmouth student, referred to as Sally Smith, filed a complaint against him on October 2016 with the college's Title IX office alleging physical assault. Smith's complaint was related to a sexual encounter that occurred on campus in August 2016 that left both parties physically injured. When filing the complaint, Smith allegedly told then Title IX coordinator Heather, I have no fucking clue what her last name is, that the sexual encounter was consensual. The college hired an external investigator to determine whether Doe had violated the college's standards of conduct, specifically Standard 1, behavior which causes or threatens physical harm to another person, consensual or not, and Standard 3, engaging in sexual misconduct of any kind. In November 2016, Doe, alleging that he was unable to consent during the encounter because he was incapacitated by alcohol, filed a complaint against Smith for physical and sexual assault. Doe was found responsible in March 2017 for violating Standard 1 relating to physical harm and not responsible for violating Standard 3 related to sexual misconduct. Smith was not found responsible for any violations. So even while both parties were injured, he was guilty, she was not. Welcome to Feminist Double Standards 2018. And if this wasn't bad enough, another epidemic started. The hashtag MeToo epidemic of false rape allegations took the media by storm. Soon, any rich, successful, or influential man who's ever had consensual sex with a woman was falsely branded as a rapist, no matter how many decades ago the sexual encounter happened. These falsely accused men had their reputations and careers destroyed over baseless allegations of sexual assault, most of which were never accompanied by a police report, let alone a criminal conviction. The mere word of a woman alone was enough to wrongly convict a man in the court of public opinion. Take Aziz Ansari, for example. The Verge reports on January 15, 2018, that Ansari was falsely accused of regret rape in their article, Aziz Ansari Responds to Allegations of Sexual Misconduct. Now, regret rape is where a woman consents to sex and then afterward regrets it, so falsely accuses her sexual partner of rape. In their article, they publish Aziz's statement, which states as follows. In September of last year, I met a woman at a party. We exchanged numbers. We texted back and forth and eventually went on a date. We went out to dinner, and afterwards, we ended up engaging in sexual activity, which, by all indications, was completely consensual. The next day, I got a text from her saying that although it may have seemed okay, upon further reflection, she felt uncomfortable. It was true that everything did seem okay to me, so when I heard that it was not the case for her, I was surprised and concerned. I took her words to heart and responded privately after taking time to process what she had said. Now, I cannot be sure, but I was unable to locate anywhere where this alleged victim ever filed a police report. If someone alleges they're a victim of a crime, surely there'd be a police report, right? I mean, it's not like this woman's trying to shake down the successful man for money, right? Or is she? In May of last year, I released my book on Amazon, The Feminist Lie. It was never about equality, where I outlined the many ways the rise of feminism destroyed the social contract between men and women. The Title IX and the hashtag MeToo witch hunts I previously outlined were financed, promoted, and supported by the feminist movement, and they're just two of many examples of feminist campaigns that discriminate against men. And don't even get me started about the feminist-saturated family courts that discriminate against men every day. Then, in early December 2017, I released the video, Duluth, Feminist Brainwashing and the Ideological Subversion of Society, where I disclosed that one of the Duluth model's founders admitted that the Duluth model was based on a lie to discriminate against men. Yet, today, it is the most common domestic violence intervention program in the world. That program, the Duluth model, and any DV program based on it that has adopted patriarchy theory, systemically discriminates against men around the world. This has led to misandrous coercive controlled domestic violence laws, something I explored in detail in my interview with Elizabeth Hobson in my video, Misandry Today in the UK, released in November 2017. So now, we fast forward to 2018. Men have finally figured out that feminism destroyed the social contract between men and women, but they still wanted sex. So, they developed sex dolls and sex robots. And while sex dolls are in their infancy, recently, sex dolls are becoming more and more popular in the mainstream. On January 16, 2018, comedian Ryan Davis did a 2-minute monologue on why everyone should get a sex doll. It very quickly got over 500,000 views and over 5,500 comments on World Star Hip Hop. On Facebook, the video got almost 10 million views and over 170,000 shares and over 43,000 comments. Why? It's because Ryan makes irrefutable arguments in favor of getting a sex doll over investing in today's women created by feminism's war on men, marriage, and family values. Let me break it down a little bit further. A sex doll similar to the one Ryan's video showcases will set you back about $2,400 from the dollhouse. The link is provided in the description of this video. Why is that important? Well, let's do some cost comparisons and find out, shall we? The Huffington Post on June 15, 2017 reported that, quote, Americans spent an average of $5,871 on engagement rings, up from $5,855 in 2014. The wedding bands for the bride and engagement rings combined cost between $5,968 and $6,258. If you want your wedding to happen sooner rather than later, keep in mind that on average, couples spend more than $30,000 to tie the knot. That's roughly how much you can expect to pay for everything from your wedding reception and DJ to your cake and your photographer. So, a sex doll is less than half the cost of an average engagement ring and less than 10% of the cost of the wedding for a marriage that's probably going to end in divorce anyway. Speaking of divorce, LegalPriceGuides.com shows that divorce attorney fees for divorces without consideration of child support or custody issues costs over $3,500 if mediated, that is, settled out of court. If it's contested, or if there's a court fight, it's going to cost at least $4,500, though this can easily get over $100,000, as many men can attest, myself included. If children are involved, not including child support, and if the parents agree on custody without a fight, it's still going to be another $2,500, bringing the cost up to $6,000. Further, if it's contested, then it's going to run at least $10,000. Though, as a family law professional, I've seen many cases that have cost over $50,000 once everything is all said and done. And again, this doesn't include alimony or child support or any other costs associated with the divorce or the custody fight. Well, what if you're not married and dating? A sex doll is a lot cheaper than getting wrongfully fired from your job for a false allegation from a coworker you consensually slept with. Even if you're a single guy, you can still get wrongfully accused of sexual assault or rape by a woman you're dating. How is this relevant? Well, back to LegalPriceGuides.com. A criminal defense attorney to defend against a false allegation of rape is going to cost you at least $15,000, plus time lost for work to attend and prepare for the court proceedings. So in comparison to the cost of a criminal defense attorney to defend yourself against a false rape or false sexual assault charge, a sex doll is far less expensive. So at the end of the day, it's clear that a sex doll is not only far less expensive than the cost of dealing with modern women created by feminism's war on men, marriage, and family values, there is far less drama involved also, as a sex doll won't falsely accuse you of rape, sexual assault, or harassment. If you want to learn more, check out the Dollhouse website. The link, again, is in the description. If you've enjoyed this video, found it educational or insightful, please like and share it and subscribe to my channel. And please bang the bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content. You can also support my work on Patreon. And in case I'm targeted by YouTube, I mirror all my content on Bitchute and MGTOW.com. All the links are in the description. I'm DDJ, and this has been your dose of misandry today.